Good morning and welcome, and thank you for coming out early for our event today. Legacies are built on seminal moments, when the lights shine brightest, when the challenge seems insurmountable, when the eyes of the world are on you. That is when great athletes see the rarest of opportunities to shape their legacy, to ensure that their name lives on. Evander Holyfield once said, "A champion shows who he is by what he does when he's tested." Back in November, the two best pound-for-pound fighters in the world tested each other like they had never been tested before in their careers. On that night, world champion Andre Ward faced a defining moment and countered with an epic comeback victory over Sergey Kovalev. After that showdown, there was a lot of talk, a lot of debate, a lot of speculation, and yes, a lot of excuses. But on June 17th, we will put all that talk to bed, because Ward Kovalev 2, the rematch, is officially on. And from this day forward, there will be no excuses. We return to Las Vegas, where all big fights belong, live at the Mandalay Bay Events Center and on HBO Pay-Per-View. Rock Nation is proud to be the lead promoter of this global event, presented by Corona Extra and powered by Monster Products. Perhaps no other sport is as much about legacy as the sport of boxing. And make no mistake about it, this is a legacy fight for both fighters. Andre Ward is the best boxer in the world. There is simply no debate. He is undefeated, breathlessly talented, and has gladly taken on any fighter with the guts to face him. For Andre, this fight represents the final nail in the coffin for the rest of this division and his would-be competitors, and the latest feat in a career that only can be defined as flawless. For Sergey, he has a lot to prove, which may be why he's been so, let's call it, active on social media. After falling short in November, Sergey has become his own personal hype machine. In one of his latest tweets, he demanded, "Andre, pray to me." Sergey, I think what you were trying to say was, "Pray for me," which we all will do before you get back into the ring with Andre on June 17th. Clearly, the stakes cannot be higher for this rematch. More than just wins and championship belts, this fight will ultimately dictate the fate of each fighter's legacy. MGM and HBO are synonymous with the biggest and the best boxing events, and Rock Nation is honored to be working in partnership with them for yet another historic fight. This event could not have been possible without the support of Richard Sturm and Sid Greenflag of MGM, and HBO's Peter Nelson and Tony Walker. I'd like to take this opportunity to specifically thank them. I'd also like to thank our chairman, Jay-Z, and president of Rock Nation Sports, Juan Perez, for their support of this sure-to-be epic event. Despite what you read in some corners of the boxing world, this rematch was always inevitable. Both fighters wanted it, both promoters wanted it, and I would be remiss if I did not sincerely thank Main Events and Kathy and Nicole Duva for their professionalism and class in negotiating and finalizing the June 17th fight. Additionally, a big thank you to our presenting sponsor, Corona Extra, as well as Monster Products. I would also like to acknowledge the Parker Meridien for their support and for hosting us all here today. Last but certainly not least, thank you to Team Ward, to Andre, James Prince, Josh Dubin, and Virgil Hunter, not only for once again putting their unblemished championship record on the line under the bright lights of Sin City, but for being incredible partners throughout this process and the best ambassadors the sport of boxing could possibly ask for. Thank you all. Now, I am excited to invite Main Event's owner and CEO, Kathy Duva, to the microphone. As I mentioned earlier, Kathy and her team should be commended for helping to secure this rematch. And we are excited to work with her and Main Events to make June 17th an historic night for all involved. Kathy?
Thanks, Michael. That was very eloquent. That was a compliment. I'm not going to go through all the same stuff. Of course, thank HBO, thank the Parker Meridien, thank HBO and Mandalay Bay, and of course our sponsors, Corona and Monster. I'll make it short and sweet. My greatest hope for June 17th is that the winner wins this time. Sergey's going to do everything in his power to make sure there's no question about who that is. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. And now I'd like to introduce HBO's Sports Executive Vice President, Peter Nelson.
Thank you, Michael. I want to thank all the media for being here. This fight came together initially, in large part because of what you've asked for. First and foremost, though, I do really want to thank the fighters, Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev. It's without the two of them deciding at the zenith of their careers, the height of their powers, the apex of undefeated records, that they decided to get in the ring against one another. And that's exactly the expectation that fight fans should have. It's something to be celebrated, and we're excited that we're going to have a rematch on June 17th. Again, that these two men decided that they wanted to step up and fight each other after the controversy at a time when a lot of fighters would walk the other way from one another. Some fights, they're so good that the fighters earn each other's respect. And then some fights are so great that the fighters earn each other's disrespect. I'll let all of you decide which one this is. I think that what we've seen over the past few months is people arguing more and more about who actually won that fight. And again, the credit is to the fighters, because every second of the first fight they were there to compete. And every second of this rematch they're going to be there to win. There's too much at stake in terms of legacy, in terms of pound-for-pound stature, in terms of this moment, and in terms of the future. So what we know to expect is on June 17th, the stuff of HBO Pay-Per-View legend gets made. And Sergey Kovalev and champion Andre Ward are going to do everything in their power to bring home the belts. So I want to thank Michael Yormark and Rock Nation, done an incredible job, Kathy Duva. There's been a lot of talk behind the scenes trying to get this done. I'm sure my cell phone provider would like to thank both of you on their behalf. I want to thank James Prince, as well as Egis Klimas, who couldn't be here, Sergey Kovalev's manager. Both of you are men of your word, and boxing is a better sport to have both of you in it. Josh Dubin, thank you as well for all your efforts in this. I look forward to seeing you all on June 17th. I would lastly like to thank our partners, the affiliates, the MSOs and telcos who make these events possible with all their support. I want to thank my team, Tony Walker, previously mentioned, head of HBO Pay-Per-View, as well as Jonathan Gals, and we look forward to seeing you all on June 17th. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Peter. Kathy, the floor is all yours. Introduce your team. Okay.
Well, everybody, let me start. Egis Klimas, of course, has just been mentioned. Sergey's great trainer, who's had a very, very busy week, as we all know. And he couldn't be here today, and so he has sent his assistant, Daniel, who is going to come up and he is going to speak in Egis' behalf. Daniel?
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, Egis couldn't make it. He was at fights yesterday in MGM Los Angeles. He's happy about the rematch that actually happened. We're excited about it. We're ready. Just thank you for all the promotions that have been done for the fight. Thank you, HBO, for making this happen. And he'll be tomorrow at the San Francisco press conference. So we'll talk with him. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. You know, Sergey Kovalev has had a lot of hard things happen in his life, and November was another one of those things. He showed me then that in his reaction to that, that he is the champion I always believed he was, and I expect he's going to show us all in June how to get your titles back. And here he is, the former light heavyweight champion of the world and future light heavyweight champion of the world, Sergey Kovalev.
Hello, everybody. I will try to speak Russian, okay, and Daniel will be translated because I can say more what I think and what I want to say on my native language. Здравствуйте всем. Я очень рад, что все-таки бой уже будет. По крайней мере, на бумаге это уже написано, что бой будет 17 июня. Я этому очень рад. Спасибо моей команде и команде Order за то, что, в принципе, они это сделали.
Hello everyone. I'm thankful that the fight will take place on June 17th. At least it will take place on the paper for now. And I'm appreciative for my team and Team Ward that this fight will actually happen.
Также я хочу извиниться перед фанатами бокса за свой последний бой, так как боксировал очень ужасно, сделал определенные ошибки в бою, поэтому реванш ставит все на свои места и по праву выявим, кто на самом деле чемпион.
I also want to say, I want to apologize to my fans for my performance in the last fight. I haven't known what I should have done, but I think the rematch will square everything away, and we will see who's the better fighter.
Ну и в принципе много говорить тут не стоит, все увидим 17 июня, вот, все увидят, вот. Но главное, хочу, наверное, отметить тот момент, чтобы Андрей Уорд не за неделю там не соскочил с боя, не там ввиду травмы или еще чего-то. Я надеюсь, у него на самом деле хоть есть настоящие яйца, что он настоящий мужик, и он выйдет в бой 17 июня.
I'm not going to do much fighting. June 17 will talk for itself. The only thing I just hope that a week or 2 weeks before the fight, Andre Ward does not get injured, and he have enough balls to come up and fight me on that date on June 17th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sergey. So now we know you speak English. First up from Team Ward, to give you his thoughts on the rematch of David and Goliath is Andre's manager, James Prince.
I'd like to thank God for this opportunity, HBO, Peter Nelson. I also like to say, Peter, you definitely a man of your word as well. We'd like to thank Rock Nation, our promoter, who has stood by us 1,000%, solid as a rock. Warren, Dez, hard-working Mike, your bro, we appreciate y'all. You know, we appreciate all the hard work and the commitment that you all have stood by us with. We're looking forward to this fight coming up. David versus Goliath Part 2. As I said the last time, and I'll reiterate the same thing because it hadn't much changed, you know, other than we've cracked your code now. You know, Sergey, your code has been cracked. We know who you are now. So understand that. And, you know, come June the 17th, you will see one of the greatest fights ever. And as I stated earlier in the interview with HBO, don't be surprised if Kovalev get knocked out. This fight, it's that type of atmosphere going on right now. So don't you be surprised. So we look forward to that moment, and I noticed that you've been real vocal lately about a lot of things, but you know, you need to know when you're dealing with me and a guard, we don't have no fear or nothing you bring to the table. So understand that. And once again, the United States, we shall be victorious against Russia, as always. And I look forward to
Thank you, James. Also joining us today from Andre's management team is Josh Dubin. Josh, come up and say a few words.
Hard to follow Prince. Tell you what, you know, about 14 years ago I got a call. I was in San Francisco, and on the other end of the line it went, "Yeah, I want you to come down to San Jose, meet me." When James Prince calls, you listen. So I went down and I sat with him, and there was a young guy fighting in the ring, and he said, "See that kid? He's going to be one of the best ever." And tell you what, he was right. And in an industry that unfortunately has got some nasty, ugly people in it that say and do nasty things and show they're behind too much, and a lot of, unfortunately, the things that you hear about our beautiful sport are true. I'm so fortunate to have been blessed to have met kings and that have blessed and enriched my life, and to be able to grow and get to know these men, James Prince and Andre Ward, men of class and dignity and professional, and don't need to tell you what you think might sell a fight or what you think people might want to hear, but just are real. Boy, what a breath of fresh air. So I thank both of you for enriching my life and allowing me to grow on this journey with you. Because we're always hearing about role models and why aren't athletes role models? Well, hey, look no further. You got a family man who is spiritual, and you can't bait him, and you can't get him to say what you think he should say or what you want him to say because you're going to curse on social media and show your butt. Hey, we're not into all that. These are kings over here. You can keep tweeting on your phone over there, but we won already. We won in life. We won in this sport, and we're just going to continue winning. This is a formality at this point. This is a formality. So you can cry and complain and all that. That's what bullies do when they don't get their way. Bullies make excuses, and bullies try to intimidate when they don't get their way. Bullies of all sorts, in the ring, in business, when they don't get their way. Well, you didn't get your way, you ain't getting your way, and you're not going to get your way, period. The reason that probably is, if we bring it spiritually, is the moral arc of the universe does bend toward good and greatness and kings. So with that, I say this. The hardest working man in show business, Michael Yormar, the best dressed man, we thank you so much. To Rock Nation, to Juan and Desiree, thank you for standing by us, and Jay-Z and Caitlin And Lauren and Julie, you guys are unbelievable. We couldn't get stuff done without you. And Peter, thank you for being a man of your word and a friend. And hey, you want to tune into this one because you want to be able to say, I got to see the best fighter to ever walk in the ring, fight again, and conquer again. So don't miss it. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. The face of boxing, a proud Oakland native, family man, an athlete Rock Nation Sports is honored to represent. He's 31-0. Hasn't lost a fight since he was 13 years old. And a man who doesn't know the meaning of the word excuse. On June 17th, he will continue to secure his legacy as an all-time great. Ladies and gentlemen, the champ, Andre Ward.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. The media, obviously HBO, Peter Nelson and his whole team. These guys work tireless to get these kind of things done, and I appreciate them. Obviously my team, James Prince, Josh Dubin, Rock Nation, and everybody at Rock Nation, Jay-Z, Juana Desiree Perez, and obviously Michael Yormark. It's imperative to have a good team. You know, we talk a lot about fighting, and we talk a lot about matchups. We don't talk a lot about business. And when you talk about business in this sport, you know, it's frowned upon. But then when we see fighters 10, 15, 20 years down the road, shuffling in a room, nothing to show tangibly for what they fought for, that's okay. By the grace of God and by way of my team, that's not going to happen to me. And unfortunately, you know, there's perception and there's reality. When you're young, you get caught up in the perception. You care about every little thing that's written, everybody's opinion. But as you grow and learn this business, and this is what I tell the young guys that I mentor, it's not about perception. The perception is that it's some type of mentality that I'm showing or have shown after this fight that I hadn't shown up until this point. Where does that make sense? Nobody in this room can point to a fighter that I've run from. Nobody can point to a fight where I turned. Not one time. That's not in my track record. So I don't mind the perception of, I don't care about an Instagram, I don't care about that stuff, man. This is chess, it's not checkers. You can make all the moves you want to make, but it's about the checkmate. And that's when the game is over. So while they're talking, my team is working, protecting my interest. Life after boxing, which again isn't talked about enough. Educating me on the ins and outs. See, a lot of people talk about the money and the guarantee, but they're not talking about the upside. They're not talking about the personal sponsorships for the fight and your obligations for those sponsorships. They're not talking about the television rights and the foreign rights. They're not talking about the merchandise. You just be tough and keep fighting. Just show up and fight. I'm not with that, man. I want the whole thing. I want to understand everything. The fighting is academic. I've been doing this 23 years. And what they got to understand, there's nothing scary about this man. You realize we just fought 12 rounds 4 months ago? Everybody wants to highlight the knockdown. That's probably one of the most beautiful moments of my career. And then did you guys see the other 10 rounds? Nobody's talking about that. But that's what makes us who we are. We don't have that soft cushion to fall on. It's hard concrete down there, so we don't want to fall. We got another drive, we got another gear that we got to tap into when we hit adversity, when we hit the canvas. And you guys saw that in the biggest moment of my career. I didn't get to where I'm at because there's something weak about me. I didn't get to this point by happenstance. Some may not like it, But you gotta respect it. You don't have to, but we've earned the position that we have. So we don't mind being understated. We don't have to meet them tweet for tweet, Instagram for Instagram. Got a lot of respect for Kathy Boo, but a lot of the tactics are old and played out. Put pressure on Ward. It's impossible. The fight was academic. The fight was going to be had. Let's get the business handled. And when my team green-lighted me and said, hey, go ahead and announce it, that's what I do. Don't worry about perception. The reality is he's got to see me June 17th. That's the reality of the situation. I love to talk, build the fight. It's all good. I love some people feeling like, oh, you know, you lost. It's all good. Build the fight. And we locked heads for 12 rounds. He knows. That's the reality of the situation. He felt me. He knows. And that's enough for me. In June 17th, it's not going to be no different. We're going to get started a little bit early. And whether you're with me or whether you're against me, tune in. It's going to be a great show. Appreciate everybody's time out here today. Don't miss this fight. June 17th. He got what he asked for.
Clearly, June 17th represents more than a boxing match to both competitors. Legacy is at stake. The script with which each fighter's life story will be written is at stake. When Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev awake from a well-deserved rest on the morning of June 18th, there will be no more unanswered questions, no hand-wringing, no contentious debate, no controversy, no more excuses. There will be only one true champion, one pound-for-pound king, one real face of this sport. Now, most importantly, and write this down, our ticket pre-sale starts Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That will be followed by our public on sale, which will start on Friday, also at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Ticket prices are as follows: $12.55, $7.55, $5.05, $3.55, $2.55, and $1.05. Ladies and gentlemen,
What's your left?